Welcome back, everyone. I am Charmaine Brown, and I am blessed to be here with you today. Monday, 6:30 Central Daytime, 7:30 Eastern Daytime. Impact Gospel Radio. This program is mental health, a holistic impact. And if you remember our past videos, our two previous videos, we had Jacinth Miller. She was talking about mental health and retirement. We were having a discussion about mental health and retirement. We did not get through all the questions during those shows, and so we bring her back for 15 minutes or more to finish the questions that we needed to answer before we get into the Raymond family saga. Welcome back again, Jesse. There were
Hi.
questions that I really need to be answered, not only for people who are being retired, those who are retired, but for organizations who have these people who are going to be retired. Do you think that the facilities and organization have enough information to facilitate a safe retirement for their staff?
I really, there's always room for growth. And, God bless Deer Lodge. I had 30 very good years in a very well organized facility. Thank you, Deer Lodge. But I believe this could be in every facility across the world, honestly, to goodness. A lot of business places have gyms. Now we have a workout place at Deer Lodge. We know why it's there. But going forward, someone needs to step out and do something strong. I think it would be almost like a compliment to the people leaving, because remember, they were the pillars that started it. So it would help a lot. It would help because there's always workshops at most business places. I go to workshops every other month. I think for the retirement people, or whatever age you want to start, because remember, you want to start saving money, you should have the option, if you want to take some courses on retirement, what you do, how to step into it, that it's not this raha situation that you go into and you go out to Never Never Land or the Promised Land. You have to prepare for retirement. Same way you're going into the workplace is the same way you come out of the workplace, mentally, physically, financially.
Okay. So what she's saying is that because the staff of these organizations are or were the pillar that stabilize that and the functioning of that workplace, better planning and better information would be helpful about when, how, why, and where retirement should take place, and give them a little preview of what to expect for them to be stabilized in their mental health so that they are not caught off guard.
Amen.
And just like how they have workshop, as what she was saying, and conferences, this can be a medium, or these things can be medium to enhance and to pass knowledge onto people who are planning retirement, because there are people who have to retire, but when they don't get enough information, it's like throwing you into a sea of sharks
Sure.
to be eaten
It's
alive. But
yes,
guess what? These are not sharks, it's your mental health eating
yes,
at you, which can be damaging and dangerous.
yes,
So, what I want you to know is, go about in your workplace, ask around what are the retirement plans that your organization have in place. What does it look like? How do you prepare yourself and get that into you and start planning for it in an effective way, not in a fantasy world? Because me who want to travel Europe and all of that, that's fantasy because I don't try it yet, so it's not reality. So we
Right.
are living a fantasy where
Yes.
in our retirement we're going here, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do that. No, it doesn't have to be like that because, as she said, our thoughts become our perception and it becomes reality. So if it doesn't work out that way, we are gonna be in trouble. In trouble. I want you to get it. I don't want
True.
you to forget. All right. So, how would you advise? What advice would you give someone who is looking forward to retirement and having this concept that, oh, retirement is good, I can't wait, I can't do this, blah, blah, blah? What advice would you give a person who is looking to leave the workplace and be retired?
You want to give, you want you'd want, as a friend, if say you're going into it as a friend or one person helping another, you really want to say, it's, you want to be raw and naked the situation and bring them down to earth, and let them know that retirement is a serious thing. It's that, a lot, you can retire from one place and go to the next, but you still need to mentally be prepared to even go to the next job, just like what I'm doing. Remember, you're always around people. You're not going to have that crowd anymore. You're going to be a little more alone. So you let them know that they need to have support, a support group leaving. Some type of support group, whether they start counseling, they might not get it at the beginning, but it will make sense. Join something, a women's group, a men's group, something where you can speak, somewhere you can speak and then be heard. And financially, you really, 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 I can't stress enough, if you're not going to step into a second job, pre-plan, get that step ready, get that second job going. If you're going to volunteer, get things organized. Like if you're going to take a trip, you don't pack the night before. So you have to start packing for the next. You have to ready yourself for the next.
Get ready for the next. I heard a lot of things when I asked that question from Jacinthe. She said raw, naked truth about retirement, what it is, and be mentally prepared. Mentally prepared in such a way that if you don't have the crowd that you used to have before that used to keep you mentally healthy, then join groups, whether men or women groups, and have some supportive information and people around you. And she also said you need to speak. If you're a speaker, you need to find that group that where you can speak. If you were a movie person, find that group. If you were a traveler, find that group where you can get that buffer that you want to support your mental health. And she said, financially, you need to pre plan because you're not getting the money that you used to get. And most times, when, especially when we retire without getting the federal pension, you're just only getting the provincial pension. So you're not fully covered with both provincial and federal pension. It can be less than what you were expecting, and you need to pre-plan. And if you have any business that you were planning to go in, try and do it. Try and get that saving in place to go into that business before you retire. Jacinthe, we have another question for you. So, what do you think is needed to address better mental health issues like depression and anxiety? Because we realize that they're not People who are on the go, 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 go are not focused on that. But when they retire, it show up. How can we better plan to address those problems in our lives?
Well, one of the greatest gifts, and Charmaine, you carry it. I don't know even if it's the right time to say this, but listening is I've learned through retirement. I used to be one at Deer Lodge. I used to know those elders don't have their family around, so they want to be. It's important that you know they're heard. They're heard, they're seen, and acknowledged. And that because they're isolated. Remember, they're isolated. They're not going out anymore. They don't see their families very often. Their families got jobs. So you become like a family. You're not their family, but they see you every day. So I would recommend when you're out there and you're now retired, one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, you can give people that you're bumping into, that you don't even know if they're having a low day or they're dealing with something, is to give them the gift that you're going to draw back and hear what they have to say. You have no idea how powerful that is. You might know, no disrespect, but it is a powerful tactic. I've been in places like Value Village where God has just put the right person at the right time at the right place, and they actually just let me speak. And you almost want to buy them lunch because you know they heard you. And Shemaine, you have a gift of listening. I want to share that with you. One of the greatest things that I'm taking from you is that you're heard. When you're around this woman, you are heard. And she'll let you know you are heard, because when she's having a conversation with you, she brings it back what you said. And nothing is more important than when someone brings back what you spoke. It makes you feel like a pillar. You feel good because that person was listening to me. And that alone is a gift in the mental health field.
Amen. So what she said, as I always say on my talk show, and this talk show, which includes you people who are listening and have us in your living room and places watching us in your own space, is to listen. It is very important to listen to what people are saying. If you have to zip it, you zip it and listen. If you have to just listen and ensure people are heard and are acknowledged, and that their needs are met over yours. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to go straight into the Raymond's family saga. Let's take a break. And furthermore, I want to thank Jacinth for being here. everyone, I am Charmaine Brown and I am blessed to be here with you. We're on Impact Gospel Radio and it's mental health, a holistic impact where we talk about anything that bothers our mentality. What I realized that persons can be physically well, like extremely physically well. They can also be a little bit emotionally well. Financially, yes, they can be there as well. But when your mental health is not adequate, it throws off almost everything in our lives. It throws off our physical, because whatever we tell our minds, that's what our body does or wants to do. And whatever we tell our minds, that's how our emotion, it reflects the emotion that we put out there. So getting our mental health intact, it's very, and I cannot overstate it, it's very important that our mentality is intact so our lives can be in balance. There are many people who are out there who they don't know that they are not mentally well, because they perform the same duties over and over as routine. Yes, and when you have routine tasks, it seems like nothing goes wrong because it becomes a part of you, your routine. And so for you to miss something, it's kind of high and unlikely. But when you're not doing routine tasks, it can show that your mental health is not adequate. So what I want to say to us is, it is very important that we seek help, finding what we need to support our mental health so that our lives can be intact and balanced. We need a balance. We cannot be physically well and our minds are not. We need a balance. And that's what health is. Adequate health or health status is having a balance where you might still experience illnesses, but you have it on top. You're on top of your health, where you're taking whatever medication, whatever direction you go with your health, it is intact. It's not giving you any problem. That's what adequate health is, health status. I am just going to add to the last clip of retirement that we spoke with Jacinth. There were just a couple questions that didn't get addressed in the past two sittings that we sat with her, because as you know, the time flies so fast when you're having fun, and so that's good. But I'm going to add to that. I'm going to add to retirement, because I am seeing where people are afraid to talk about retirement. People are afraid to talk about attitudes in the workplace. People are afraid to talk about attitude at home. People are afraid to talk about the attitude that they're experiencing with other people, because they're either afraid of being shunned, or they're afraid of being reported, or they're afraid of being not in the group and being isolated. They're afraid of being bullied. There are so many things and so many ways that why they can become afraid, and I am going to look at it. I'm going to look at what do we do when we are being bullied in the workplace. What do we do when there's somebody in the workplace that is just not enjoying their time in the workplace? They are just so sad. Their deportment is so sad. It's so hard to look at, really. It's so hard to look at. That type of sadness, I associate that type of sadness with great loss. Whatever was lost, that type of sadness come with great challenges, great changes. And to bring it in the workplace, it's kind of difficult for others to see it, to work around it, or work with it, or to try to skip it, try to tiptoe around somebody who is very sad, I think the workplace is a place where we spend most of our time. For those who work 12-hour shifts, and you're there like 12 hours, which half of the day you're actually at this place when you're on shift. If it's 8 hours, well, that's a little bit better. You escape it by 4 hours, so you have 12 and 4 is 16 hours somewhere else apart from the workplace, so you escape at least 4 hours of it. But remember that that's just on a daily basis. What about those persons who have to be at this place year in, year out? Like, you are here. This is where you are stabilized. This is your job. This is where you work, and this is where you spend most of your days, most of your time, apart from when you go home or have some other settings to do. And so with this great sadness coming around in the workplace with this aura, and some people, honestly, some people are experiencing this sadness. Sometimes it can become a part of their lives where they don't realize that it is reflecting on others or rubbing off on others or affecting others. They don't realize that what they are doing is really putting pressure on other people to live up and to support that sadness without asking. Because you know what, people, I'm going to tell you the truth. Would I tell you a lie? I might tell you a lie. Who knows? So, when you're in the workplace and people are walking around with this aura of sadness that they have become used to, it has become a part of their lives, and it has become a part of their lives in this setting because this is where they are. I don't know when they go home if it's there. I don't know what's happening, if it gets worse when they go home or if it gets better when they go home. No, I don't know that. But when you're in the workplace or even at home, because we spend most of our time at home, most of us, half and half. We're trying to balance. They threw out, when I came to work in Winnipeg, what grabbed my attention was they advertised the job as work balance. You're going to have a work balance status. And me thinking, wow, work balance, that sounds really good. And so I left Ontario, come here to Winnipeg. And yes, I did have the work balance that they had promised, because at the time, I guess they couldn't do better than do work balance because the healthcare system wasn't so dampered with so much needs, which had stemmed from it stemmed from the COVID, but before that, there were a great need for staffing in the healthcare system, and then the COVID kind of put a damper on that, kind of grab it by the neck. I don't want to sound vicious, people, but the COVID kind of put a more strangulation aspect on that system that was not perfect before. And so now you have it where it is very hard and there's great needs in the workplace, and for those who are in other areas such as businesses, finances, such as content making, whatever it is, there is certain professionalism that goes with where we work. And if we're walking around wherever we are with this dampering spirit and dampering other people and expect them to shoulder your burden without telling them or without asking them or without even have a reason, like you just come every day, you go wherever you're going, and you have this sadness, you have this dampering spirit, people don't know anything what's happening. I'm not telling you to tell people your business. That's not what I'm saying. But at least you can be courteous to people around you if they don't know what's happening. You can't just walk around with this sadness, with this dampness, with this disrespectful attitude in the workplace, at home, in the church, wherever you are, and expect people to live with that. No, people, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. This is not a pity party. And how am I going to pity you? If you were in my area and you're acting like this, how am I going to pity you? I'm not going to pity you. I'm going to see you as a bully. I'm going to see you as a disrespectful person. I'm going to see you as a person who don't want to be here, but you must be here because you need whatever you're doing. You need it for something, or you have nowhere else to be. And this is where retirement comes in. Do we need, what criteria do we have to meet to consider retirement? That's my question. What criteria do we have to meet to consider retirement? Because, yeah, when you work, there is a age criteria. Obviously, you reach 65, well, 60 for male, 65 for male, 60 for women. Well, it depends. Sometimes 60 for male, 55 for women. It depends where you're working, what their coverage are, and all that aspect. Apart from the age criteria of retirement, what criteria do we have to meet to go into the retirement bracket? For Jacinth, she said she wasn't doing well health-wise, and she was looking forward to retirement, and she welcomed retirement. But those people who are in the workplace who are not contributing anything more than probably what they're doing, like their task. You know what? We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will continue with this conversation. Let's take a break. Welcome back, everyone. I am Charmaine Brown. We are on Impact Gospel Radio, and this is Mental Health, a holistic impact where I look at everything and anything that affects our mental health, positively and negatively. But more so, we focus on the negative part where we can find strategies to fix it so we can be on the positive, where we experience a balance in our lives. Not for ourselves, people, because one hand cannot clap. One hand cannot clap. We live in a place where we're surrounded by people, animals, and plants, and other things. We are surrounded, so we have to be united in our community so that we can help others, whether in our immediate environment or outwards, strangers on a bus, as I always say. So I was talking about what criteria should be displayed or should we see in ourselves apart from age where we consider retirement. What about excessive sadness in the workplace that is not being addressed? No matter how the person tried to address this, it's not being addressed. Or let me say, that's not the place where the person wants to be. But the person has to be there because, and the reason can be anything. The person has to be there because, but the person is not happy. What should we do? Like, you don't want to talk to anybody about it because you might get fired or you might be monitored or eyes might be on you. But how do we think in ourselves when to stay at a place that causes us so much distraction or disappointment or dissatisfaction? How do we cope in a place where we do our work as a routine task, not enjoying none of it? Because if I'm not enjoying my job, I don't think I would enjoy the pay. Like, the pay would be just, okay, it's payday. Like, okay, it's payday. I find I get great enjoyment when it's payday because I know I work for that, and I work for that in an environment where I am happy and I'm changing lives. I know in myself that I'm changing lives. Other people might disagree with me, and that's okay, because other people's thought process doesn't change what I think about myself. I feel happy when it's payday and I look at my check and I am happy because I get reward for something that I love to do and feel happy. I can't imagine being unhappy in a place. It can be anywhere, people. It doesn't have to be the working environment. It can be at church, because people get blessing at church. You get little gifts. You get people encouraging you. It can be at home where you are with your family and they're around and you are communicating. It can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be in the workplace. When you get that reward and you were not happy doing it in the first place, how does that feel? Do you feel happy getting the pay? Because if you're a person walking around with just pure sadness on your face and you're sending off an aura of just disdain and dissatisfaction, and that pay comes, like, you don't remember when the pay comes, and you go into your email. Our pay comes on Wednesday, people. Wednesday morning, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. You go into the email and you see your pay. I wonder what that looks like when you see it, knowing you're not enjoying your life. What does that look like? Persons who are unprofessional at work. Like, you know you're to do certain things and yet you do the opposite. You know you're to accommodate people and you're disrespecting them. You know you're supposed to do procurement and you slack off for the last minute where nothing is there for people to use. You know you're supposed to send somebody their financial statement and they're waiting for it to do some transaction or to travel, and you wait for the last minute when the person is on the plane worrying about that yet didn't get it. How does that work? Like, how do you in yourself, in an environment where you should be helping, and you make the situation worse? Like, how can you live with yourself with that? Isn't that mental health though? Because you don't care about people. And you don't have to care about people. You know, this is controversial. You don't have to care about people to be in a happy place. That's controversial because I don't believe that. That's against my values. Maybe you care about your plants because there are people who are not people person, but they're plant person. Or maybe you're not a plant person, but you're animal person. So, and you care about your animal, your pet. Right? So, how does it work when you are in a place where you're supposed to, and I think it's stealing as well. I'm jumping the gun here. I think it's also stealing. I'm going to clarify it. If they hire you to do T and you are doing F, J, K, L, M, you're doing every letter apart from T. That's disrespectful because that's not what they hire you for. And that's stealing from the company because that's not what they're paying you for. In their mind, they're paying you to do T while you're doing every other letter of the alphabet except the T that you're paid for. I'm going to put it practical. You get paid for customer service, good customer service. Someone come up to you and said, "Good afternoon, how are you? What do you want? Why are you here?" I came because I have an appointment with such and such a person, or I was looking for this product and they said it was here. I see online that it was in this department, and so I come and go and look. I want to find it. Okay, thank you. The person is so courteous to you and yet you're so grumpy and you are so disrespectful and you are so absent-minded and you are so short with the person, and that's not what they paid you for. They paid you for a good customer service, your good customer service skills. That's what they pay you for. You're grumpy, you are not, people are greeting you properly, you are not accepting it, people are talking to you in a kind manner, you're grumpy and rushing the people. That's stealing from the company because they pay you to do a good job but you are doing a bad job. That's actually stealing. It might, you know, a lot of us read the Bible and there are some things that are not in the Bible outright. It's not clear in the Bible. You remember that people who read the Bible, I'm talking to you now. If you don't read the Bible, you can skip this part. Or you can take me out of your living room or your car, wherever you're watching. But I'm going to talk about the Bible because I love God. I love Him very much. And I need to talk about Him all the time. But this is not about a God thing right here. It is, but it is indirect. You remember that those people that God gives some talents. These people got talents. God gave 5 talents to people. I know my producer will put it up. God give 10, 15, 10, 5, and 1. Oh yeah, I remember. So God has some talent to give. And there were 4 people, I believe, or some people. We can have it in a category. Some people, 3 persons. God gave one 10 talents. He gave another one 5 talents. And he gave another one 1 talent. And the one with the 10 talents went and do something with it. He went and do something with it and double his talent. The one with the 5 talents went and did something with it and double it as well. And so one got 20 talent, one got 10 talent. And the one with the 1 talent went and hid it. The person went and hid the talent. And you're saying, Charmaine, what does this have to do with mental health? What does this have to do with retirement? What does this have to do with stealing? What does this have to do with bad mind, corruption, envy? What does this have to do with the Cain and Abel model? Because this is a Cain and Abel model. Mental health is a Cain and Abel model. Apart from those persons who were genuinely diagnosed with a mental illness, those persons I can take out of this category because of reasons beyond probably their decision. So I am saying now, this hidden of talent, somebody hire you to do something. I am paying you I'm paying you $10 to do a job for me, and you did it quite well, and you are multiplying your money. I am paying John $5 to do something for me, and he is multiplying because he's happy in what he is doing, and he knows the significance of multiplication, people. Not division or minus, addition or multiplication. I'm not going to co-sign our bearings here, people. those people who are into cosine and bearings and trigonometry and function, whatever that was, I'm not going there. I'm talking simply mathematics and simple multiplication. I'm not talking division, and I'm not talking minus, subtraction. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we will return with the conversation. Everyone, I just have 30 seconds to wrap this up. I want to continue to look at this in my next video, but guess what? I was happy to have you here. We are going to out and going to go into the winter and just do our things. Let's do our best. We will see you again. Bye.
Impact Gospel Radio and Mental Health Horizon. All information posted or aired is merely for educational purposes and is not a substitute for seeking further professional advice. While the information aired has been verified to the best of our abilities, we cannot guarantee there are no mistakes or errors. We reserve the right to change this policy at any time. If you want to stay up to date with the latest mental health information, please visit our website at www.mentalhealthhorizon.com, book an appointment at info@mentalhealthhorizon.com, or tune into the broadcast every Monday evening at 6:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time.